So when we last left our story, we had this sphere sitting on a plane. We had a color on the plane. It looked better than just blah gray, but not by a whole lot. And I promised that in this video, we'd start to get some exciting textures and patterns and whatnot on the objects. So here we go. So we're going to come up here to the Assets menu and import new assets. I'm going to navigate to the directory that came with the course called Unity Course 1 Game Assets. We're going to import one of these, and the one that we're looking for, and let's view this by icons here so we can see these a little better. One that we're looking for is this Brick 01. So click on it, click Import. There it is, shows up in the preview. That's nice. Now we could actually just drag this onto the plane or the sphere, but there's a better way to do this. So I could try explaining why it's better to do this a different way right now, but it's better if you just see it, and as we go along it'll be obvious. So what we're going to do here is just click on this plane material and get the information for it in the inspector, and then click on brick and drag it up to this little square, and boom, all of a sudden now that image is there in the material. So that was nice and easy, and we're kind of sort of done, but there's one or two little cleanup things that we can do. We still have these underlying main color and specular colors, so we're going to go in, we're going to click on them, we're going to set them back up to just the plain white. Now, you don't really have to. Maybe you want some sort of tint, but it's good just to start from scratch and then start over. Okay, now we're going to talk about why it was better to do it this way than just dragging the bricks onto the object to begin with. And that has to do with this tiling section here in the inspector. And actually there's some other reasons too, but we'll get to the tiling right away so that it'll make it obvious why this is the way to go. So we're going to come in here to tiling, and we're going to change this X value from 1 to 5, and then change the Y value from 1 to 5. And look at that. Now the texture is actually tiled across the object 5 times. Much smaller bricks. Since these are all uniform, and since this material was created to have this done, the bricks just flow from one tile to the next. So that's great. Looks good, but it's pretty uniform, pretty boring. There were a couple other brick textures out there. Let's go out and take a look at some of those and see what else we can see. Okay, so I'm going to come up to the menus, to Assets, Import New Assets. We should be on our Game Assets directory, and here's Brick 02. A little more interesting. I'll just choose the plane material, drag Brick 02, and there it is. So Brick 02's got some different color bricks. Looks fine. Now one thing you'll notice, even though it's more interesting, because we're repeating this pattern 5 times, you can kind of see this pattern. Well, that's not the greatest. So you have to be careful with this texture repeat, that you don't get things too many repeats in a flat area where you can see too much of it, or it'll start to give you this kind of look. And sometimes it's not too bad, but well, this isn't the greatest. So we're going to change things around. We're going to do some other things. We're going to also add some a little more life to this. While this color is nice, and it can do it in a pinch, if you look at it with any kind of scrutiny, you're going to see that it's just flat. It's just totally flat. And we know that brick walls aren't like that. The grout is usually in a little bit. Sometimes it comes out a little bit. Sometimes the bricks have a little bit of bumpiness on their surface. And we can actually do that in Unity. And like the other textures and materials that we've looked at so far, it turns out to be not too tough either. So we're going to get to that right away in our next video.